Hey, what's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to another last question mark challenge video here today for the Japanese Grand Prix. Today we're going to be driving as Lewis Hamilton in his Mercedes car. Starting from the back, you can see his teammate Valtteri Bottas is on pole position, so we've technically got either kind of more important positions, first and last, as they say. I think that's a saying. But we're going to be starting last, and we're going to be doing a 25% race as per usual, so a one-stop race this will be, and we're going to try and see how far up the grid we can get as Suzuka. It should be a pretty good one, actually. Obviously, the Mercedes car is going to go very well around here, so I imagine we'll be able to make plenty of overtakes. We're going to be starting on the soft tyre here, so we're going to be going a little bit longer and then going to the super softs at the very end on the second stint. But this being uploaded straight after the real-life Japanese Grand Prix, so be sure to let me know what you think about the real-life race in the comments below. This commentary being done before the race, so I don't really know what's going to happen. As per usual, from the last few question mark challenges, maybe I'm going to be jinxing one of the drivers today in the commentary. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But it definitely has happened at Singapore and at the Belgium Grand Prix before when I tried it with Verstappen. But here we go to 5 red lights then for the Japanese Grand Prix. 13 laps ahead of us today for a 25% race at the Japanese Grand Prix around Suzuka up into rich mix. And you could have seen there in the race strategy plenty of fuel added to the car, because obviously with the Mercedes engine I can use that to good effect. We nip down the inside of 4 cars. That will be then into turn 1. So already up into P16. We got one of the Saubers on the exit of our 5 red lights, and then we got 3 drivers into turn 1 down the inside of Lance Stroll, then struggling for grip in the S section. Up into 15th place already as Palmer goes slowly, gets squeezed out by Kevin Magnussen. Can we feed it around the outside just nice and easy, really, with the Mercedes car? You know, the luxury with how much downforce and speed it has in this straight line is really, you can be very patient. And like we've seen previously in the real-life 2017 season with Bottas at least, it's sometimes a case of making sure you don't overdrive the car and just basically, you know, drive within the limits and not try to push it too much, really, because the car is that good that it can work. As we go 3 wide now with I think that's Kevin Magnussen and Carlos Sainz so close there. We go in between both those cars as Magnussen basically effectively used us as a way to go down the inside of Sainz, and Sainz for his sake has managed to keep P13 there, but very close stuff in the middle of them. Could have been a bit of a traffic jam, really, as that corner tightens up somewhat. And now we're on the back of Esteban Ocon straight away through the spoon curves, and we're up into P12 already, so could be points paying positions by the end of lap 1, and that'll be an absolute stonker of an opening lap as we go towards 130R. Then flat out, of course, rich mix still being used since the start of this race. We catch up to Ocon, fake to the left, go to the right, down the inside. It's a long break zone down to the inside of Daniel Kvyat as well, and we are into the points paying positions, and it's not even the end of lap 1. I did not think I was going to be making that pass on the rush-in, but as I went for the dive on Ocon, Kvyat just going very slowly, and I was ever closing, so I thought I may as well have to just go for it because the gap was going to close to that apex, and thankfully just about slowed down that Mercedes into the next part of that last chicane. So up into P10 then, and by the time we get to the hairpin then, we close up the gap that we've got to Grosjean. So a bit of a different kind of a secondary pack then from the midfield pack. Grosjean on the tail end just about hanging on to, I think that's Sergio Perez's force in as we close up through spoon curve. Once again, we'll get the traction down, trying to feed it through as early as we can in 4th gear and get the power down as early as we can. And so in the slipstream of the Frenchman, can we try and get this into 130R? Don't think we'll have the exact straight line speed. He's got a good run, Grosjean has, so we have to stick through 130R. We'll gain a little bit through that corner as we're a lot more flat out than probably Grosjean is, and we're on the left hand side round the outside, then give Grosjean the room, and we do feed it through to the second part. And up ahead, actually, you can see a bit of a scrap going on between the Red Bull cars, it looks like, as Perez closes right up, and we're also closing up as we go down towards the beginning of lap number 3. You can see one of the cars goes to the right hand side. I think that's Verstappen, I think, down the inside of potentially Daniel Ricciardo. That may be his teammate as they tangle. A bit of contact was made there, and it's actually a Hulkenberg, my bad. Hulkenberg was down the inside of Verstappen, and there's been some contact there. Verstappen and Hulkenberg still going side by side through at the beginning of the S section. We feed it around with ease on Perez as he's caught napping behind Verstappen. We're right up the gearbox of Max. We have to lift off a tad to not run into the back of Max Verstappen, but he's been overtaken fair and square by Nico Hulkenberg in the S section, I think that is. So good stuff there for Nico as we now go to the left-hand side of the track to try and overtake Max Verstappen down the inside of the first part of Spoon. Very close stuff, and Verstappen, just like he is in real life, putting up a great fight there, and we have to stick behind P8, so not unfortunately unable to get into P7 quite yet, but now you would imagine down this straight with the straight line speed of the Mercedes car versus that Renault engine in the back of the Red Bull. We've got it, and even before we get to 130R, we can get up ahead, and Verstappen has to just tuck in behind and can't really do too much there to defend from us. So now we move later into lap 4 towards the hairpin, closing up plenty in the brake zone to Nico Hülkenberg. So once we overtake Nico, we will basically be in a very familiar territory almost, with just one other car of Daniel Ricciardo, and then I think it's Felipe Massa to then overtake before we get into the top 4 where we're used to being in a Mercedes car, obviously, versus the Ferrari and our teammate Bottas. But we were unable to get Hülkenberg into spoon. Did get a run, but he kind of just didn't leave too much room. He obviously wasn't obliged to leave room on the left hand side there like Verstappen did, so have to stay behind, be a bit patient really. But as I mentioned, that's something kind of the beautiful thing about the Mercedes car on the F1 2017 game, because it's so good. Like real life, you can be a little bit patient, you have to be a bit timid as we try and make a bit of a switchback. We tried to fake to the left, go to the right. It didn't work out because I misjudged how slowly Hülkenberg was effectively going there. He kind of brake checks us, and a little bit annoying because he comes to the pits in literally the next corner, so really wasn't much use for him to brake check us there and go slowly, but misjudged how slow he was going to go there, and so kind of misjudging how fast maybe my Mercedes car was going to be on the turn into the right there. So tried the dummy, didn't work out, but it doesn't matter in the end. As we go into lap 6 then, we're up into P2. Raikkonen, the only guy staying out in P1 so far on the super soft tyres as we slide into turn 1. There's the soft tyres not working amazingly on this car actually, I've got to be honest, but as we come across the line then onto lap 7, Raikkonen is in. In hindsight, should have probably come in this lap really, because the super softs can go comfortably for all those laps to the end of the race, so I could have come in that same lap as Raikkonen. I probably lost a little bit of time. You can see going wide on the exit of turn 1, probably lost time really going out for this one more lap on the soft tyres. But we do come in then eventually on the next lap towards lap 8. This will be from P1, and we'll see how it goes. Now, I'm not too sure. I am not confident we may jump Ricciardo and Massa, but let's see as we strap on this set of super soft tyres. Pretty mediocre pit stop for us. But you can see on the top left, Valtteri Bottas up into the lead this race, so that's pretty good, damn good for him, because I believe it was Raikkonen and Vettel maybe being a little bit stronger and further ahead than Bottas. So Bottas has done some really good work in that pit stop phase, and just at the end of that first stint for him to get back into the lead. And you can see Sebastian Vettel there in P4 ahead of Danica Fiat, so something's gone on then. Maybe the AI have made some contact, because Vettel, I believe, was the one leading the race, and he's gone down the order. He's in P4 now. We'll catch up to the Russian pretty damn rapidly, but we have jumped Ricciardo, and I think that's also Massa jumped as well, as we go very easily around the outside of Kvyat, like he almost wasn't there, and like he was just an obstacle and a bit of a static car there. It didn't look like he was hardly moving through the apex on the left-hander, and we go around the outside and we're up into P5. But yeah, Vettel in P4 then from the lead, I think it was, of this race. So it might have been Raikkonen, I can't be too sure, but we have at least jumped Ricciardo then, and we have got that overcut effectively going 1 lap or 2 laps longer than him. We're using the super soft pace to good effect, and it is a car that's going to hold up Vettel. It's the other Toro Rosso, so both Toro Rossos in this race going a lot longer, and this is really hampering the German and slowing him up quite a bit. So it wasn't Massa, so we have also jumped Massa in that phase of the Grand Prix then, as we gain massively through Degner 1 and then Degner 2, unable to make a pass there. We have to just stick behind, lifting off behind Sebastian Vettel as he's still held up behind that Toro Rosso of Sainz. So we go very wide into the hairpin, trying to straighten up the car effectively as we cut in earlier to the apex. Doesn't exactly fully work, but it does kind of, as we do get a bit of traction there, and we're in the slipstream of Vettel. Can we move to the left? It's close. It's a late dart to the left-hand side. We're going to dive it down the inside of Spoon as he's held up, and this is the chance to make the move on Vettel. We go side by side with our championship rival, effectively. And I don't think you'll be seeing this in real life, let's be honest, but we go to the left-hand side on the exit of Spoon. It's toe-to-toe stuff, wheel-to-wheel stuff, and neck and neck as we go through to 130R, and we're going to be down the inside. We even cut the corner a tiny bit, to be honest, to leave Vettel the room, and Vettel just can't hang it through as we went very aggressively over the curbing, unlike they probably do in real life, to try and leave Vettel's AI the room, as Sainz finally pits in, and we're up and we're free up into P3 as Raikkonen in P2 and Bottas in P1. It's a Finn 1-2, much like so many times in the F1 2017 career mode we've seen the 2 Finn AI cars doing very well. But unfortunately for me, we're stuck here in P3, unable to get it. 8 seconds were to Raikkonen. So I think if I had not been held up so much by Hülkenberg, maybe made an easier pass on Verstappen and Vettel, we may have had a chance to get the 1-2 for Mercedes here and get Raikkonen. But 8 seconds to Raikkonen, unable to do it. But still, last to third at the Japanese Grand Prix in the 25% race with Lewis Hamilton. Pretty decent stuff there. But as per usual, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, plenty of action in that last question mark challenge, smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And of course, as I mentioned in the very start of the video, this will be uploaded straight after the real life Japanese Grand Prix. So do let me know what you thought of the real life race. You know, I don't know if I've jinxed something. Maybe I have, and you guys can let me know in the comments below. But either way, that's been a thoroughly enjoyable another last question mark challenge. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.